Welcome everybody to the presentation today. My name is Trevor, and we are going to cover a very commonly asked question. If you guys are seeing my screen okay, you guys should all see this one-piece stainless steel steam table pan, I guess is what it is. Okay, I just found this randomly. I just did a search for something randomly to show you an example with. Everybody see that okay? You'll notice, however, and this is something that comes up a lot with my clients. Let's pretend for a second this is your listing, and you'll notice that there's an ad right over here. Okay, that's not related to the listing in this case, although sometimes this ad right here. Can you guys see that? It's a black ad right here. Yep, you guys see it? Okay, this ad will show up on virtually every one of your listings. It always shows up below your seller information. And then a lot of times, if you scroll down on the page, you're going to notice something else. Down below the description, you're going to notice eBay does one of these things where it says people were also interested in, and it lists a bunch of other similar products. These come from products all over eBay, so these would be other sellers' products. So essentially, eBay is taking your advertisement or your product, and then at the bottom they're saying, hey, well, I guess if you didn't like this, we got a bunch of other ones from other people, and some more that they send that they've got down here from other people. And then they also have this sponsored links section where they list a bunch of product from other people's websites. In this case, on this specific example, they're showing it from this webstronstore.com. So, and then they've got even an additional ad all the way down here at the very bottom of the screen. A lot of you guys have probably noticed this on your eBay listings. So let me just ask you guys, what's eBay doing here? Why are they advertising for other websites and other stores on their own? Because in theory, they make money when you make a sale, right? We've talked about this. If this item sells right here, eBay is going to make how much off of this? How much do they take home off of your sales generally? What percent? Yeah, it's usually about 10, isn't it? It's 13, Robert, if you're counting PayPal, right? But 10% goes directly into eBay's pocket. So eBay on this sale, if it does get sold, it's $23, right? That's the sale price, plus the shipping there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. It's kind of small, but it's $32.40. So they're going to take home, well, the full sales price is going to be $55.40. Well, 10% of that is about $5.50. So eBay is going to make $5.50 on this item if it sells, right? So why are they posting advertisements for other stuff then? Because they're not just doing it for fun, right? You'll notice sometimes too that sometimes this advertisement right over here is very similar to what you've got listed. Yeah, I mean, isn't that the bottom line? John and Robert, you guys said it. It's to make money, right? eBay is in the business to make money, and I don't remember the number. There was a number back in 2007, so I mean we're talking quite a while ago, 8 years ago, that talked about how eBay started instituting these ads, and as a company they made something like $75 million in revenue off their advertisements. That was clear back in 2007. I didn't look at the financials, although that's information that we could find out. But I would assume that they're well over $100 million in revenue off of this stuff. With as big as eBay has gotten over the years, they could be a couple $100 million in revenue. So there's the reason why those ads show up. But here's the thing, guys. You got to keep this in mind. These ads show up in mostly spots that aren't, that aren't going to disrupt somebody buying the product from you. okay? And I want to talk about how these ads show up, because the biggest concern I get from a lot of you guys is that, hey, wait a minute, I'm listing this product, say it's a Walmart product, for example, and as you're selling a swing set off of Walmart. And then when you scroll down the page, like I just did, I'll scroll down and you see some ads. They're usually towards the bottom here. All of a sudden, you start seeing Walmart.com pop up and them selling the product for even cheaper than you've got it listed. How many of you guys have actually seen that happen before? Where your supplier actually shows up on your listing for like, 30, 40% cheaper. Right? That takes the air out of your sails a little bit, right? Or the wind out of your sails. Because you think, oh no, what if somebody sees that? Of course they're going to go and just buy it from somewhere else, right? Well, that's a fair concern, and I'm not going to dismiss that, because I guess there is that possibility. You know what I mean? People could potentially see that ad. You're right, but you got to understand why that ad is showing. Okay? eBay says this, and I want to show you this page here, and I'm going to read you this paragraph. This is from an official eBay page. Okay? So they have this thing called ad choice. Okay, and let me read this to you guys. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this. It says, when you search, browse, and otherwise interact on eBay and affiliated websites, we're able to use the information we collect to make the ads you see on eBay as relevant to you as possible. We may also work with other websites or ad networks to share information and show you customized ads elsewhere. The information we share can't be used to personally identify you. So in other words, eBay basically states we're using information about your browsing history. So when you hop online, and I think I told this story to some of you guys once, but I'm just going to tell it again real quick. A couple of months ago, I needed a new pair of golf shoes, right? I needed some golf cleats because my old ones were tattered, and I was ready for a new pair of golf shoes, right? So I spent a few days looking. I know it sounds a little silly, but I'm pretty particular about my golf shoes. I spent a couple of days looking, and I was on Nike.com, and I was out on Amazon, and I was checking reviews on different ones. And I'd searched quite a bit, and finally I found the ones that I like, and I bought them directly from, I think it ended up being from Nike.com. I got my golf shoes and I was happy with it. Okay, no problems at all. I was done. I'd shopped, I'd bought them, I was done. Well, I kid you not, for the next 2 weeks, every website I went to, including eBay and Facebook and everywhere else, they were all showing me these stupid ads of golf shoes, right? And a lot of the ads were specifically of the golf shoes that I purchased, because I had spent so much time on Amazon reading reviews about them. I spent time on Nike.com reading reviews about them. And what's going on in the background while I'm out there shopping and looking around is all these websites are collecting information about my browsing history and about what I was looking at. And so therefore, as I would browse around the internet, sites like eBay and other websites would actually display advertisements for what I had been looking at. And it's a little advertising trick that these companies can use because they can track your browsing history. You may have noticed, tell me if you've ever noticed this before, guys. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you'll list a product on eBay, and then later, if you hop onto Facebook, you actually see your very same product being advertised on Facebook? You ever seen that before? Like, you literally listed it earlier in the day, and you hop onto your Facebook and you're playing around, and then boom, you see your product listed and eBay's advertising it to you. Right? Well, why is that happening? Well, because you were on eBay recently looking at that product page while you were creating it. And so as a result, Facebook knows that because that information is being shared. And so all of a sudden, Facebook's going to start advertising that to you. It's an advertising trick. And so the reason I don't want you guys to be so incredibly alarmed if you're on Walmart a whole bunch as your supplier and you're finding that at the bottom of your eBay listings, Walmart ads are popping up all over the place, and you're seeing your exact same item that's being advertised for cheaper than you're selling it for on eBay. Don't be alarmed, because guess what? The same people, your customers that are actually looking at your products on eBay, probably aren't seeing a lot of the same kind of ads you are. There's not. Those ads are going to be a little more custom to their recent search history. And if it were like me, and I had been shopping for those pair of golf shoes for a couple of weeks or for a couple of days, and then I went to your product, I wouldn't see the same ads you're seeing when you look up your product. I'm probably seeing stuff more geared to me, probably on this page that we're looking at, this example that we did, rather than this. I guess it's like is this a makeup or something? I guess it probably is. But rather than this ad right here, I would be seeing like a Nike shoes ad or something. And that's not always the case. It's not always directly related to that. They do take into consideration that you're looking at of your product and of the keywords used on the page. But I just don't want you guys to be alarmed that these ads are going to steal your thunder. eBay is not dumb. What they might make $100 million a year in ad revenue, but they're bringing in, well, I don't know if this is true. I'm not sure what their yearly revenue is like, but I mean, I would guess billions in yearly revenue. In fact, I'm sure that's the case. So this represents a very small stream of their revenue. Most of eBay's revenue comes from your guys' sales. So guess what? They're going to be more incentivized to make sure that your product here is really what people care about and what people end up buying. Is there a chance that people will click on the ads? Yeah, but that's after they've looked at this, they've read the description, and they've scrolled all the way past that, and at the very bottom of the page, there's some ads that are being posted. eBay doesn't want people to click on the ads before they want people to buy your product. All the incentives are pointing to buying your product, okay? So, but guess what, guys? Even if you totally disagree and you think, no, Trevor, you're crazy, this is hurting my sales, I know it is, it's not. But if you really think that, guess what? There's nothing you can do to change it anyway. You can't get rid of these ads. These are always going to be posted on eBay, at least at this point. So, and there's plenty of us that still manage to do just fine, even with ads like this on the screen. So don't let that bother you, okay? I think, although I haven't checked recently, I think Amazon may have some of the same ads on their site. I'm going to look up a product on Amazon. I can't remember if Amazon does this as well. They do have some ads down here at the bottom. Here's an ad on Amazon at the very, very bottom of the screen. They're mostly recommending other products down here. But Amazon's not nearly as abrasive as eBay is with their ads. Oh, here's another ad right here. An Xfinity ad. They don't have an ad up here at the top, though, luckily. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for websites to do this, right? And if you guys have been coming to my my Thursday night presentations, I've been teaching you guys about how we're going to be doing this very same thing, essentially, on our own website, trying to make money off of the advertising. So I just want you guys to walk away from this saying, yeah, it's a little annoying that eBay's making money off of those ads. And is there a chance that you might lose a sale? There's a chance, but you have to remember that the ads are placed at the very, very bottom of the screen, and it's unlikely. And even if you disagree with it, we can't change it, but it still works. Okay, it still works. So, questions about that, guys? I want to make sure you guys are good, because I don't want this to be a concern. Oh, there we go. Breaky's got it for us. eBay 2013 annual revenue was $16 billion. Okay, there you go. I was right. They're definitely in the billions of dollars of revenue. All right, imagine that. I mean, imagine if they make seriously 200 million on their advertising revenue here. 16 billion, right, is off of set product sales. So that alone should illustrate to you guys that a very, very minor percentage of their revenue and of people's clicks go towards sponsored ads on eBay. Okay? Okay. All right. So I'm going to finish up with that. We'll leave it open for some Q&A. I'm going to turn off the recording right now. Hopefully for you guys that are watching this recorded, this clarifies any questions you have about that. Otherwise, if you do have more questions, go ahead and ask me. Thanks.